Hey Aidan, it's Coach again, looking at the side angle here of the footage we took from a couple weeks back. And as we go into leg lift here, usually when we're looking at the side angle here on some of these things, there are a few different things we're checking for. How we're moving forward and how we're approaching our leg kick out phase, or how we're going to lower our leg. Those are really the two big things that we look for here. There's really a lot of things we can pick on from the side angle, but those are the two big ones in the early going that we look for. And leg lift looks good. I want you to notice overall we want to continue our movement in this direction. Okay? We want the hip to lead the way. And as I go back and forth here you are at leg lift, and as you get to the top of your leg lift, notice how you're moving forward a little bit, and that's good. So you're creeping forward always a little bit. Okay? Now, this would almost be, I would say, perfect if your next move was a little better. Because watch what your leg does now. As you start to move forward a little bit more, it's simply just coming down, and you're going to hover above the ground and kind of start to glide out. Alright, I would much rather, and it's better for a lot of reasons to do this. It's better for your arm. It'll be better for velocity as we come down the road here. It'll help with us being able to duplicate and do the same motion over and over again. I mean, this is just going to help us do a lot of different things. With this leg kick phase, okay, we want the hip to lead the way. Okay, and as you can see, your foot, as it comes down, it's in front of your hip. Okay, and obviously at some point it's going to race in front of your hip. We want to delay that as long as we can. I'm a big believer in delaying that movement. So this is where we would want to see somewhat of a kick in this direction with your foot. Once you get to the peak, the very top of your lift, so there you are here, right in this area here is where you're at the top of your lift, go ahead and let that kick down. Okay? Rather than now pushing this forward. See how that's pushing forward? If you kick in this direction, or where my arrow's at here, this direction right here, that hip is going to be in front of our foot longer. Okay? And it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. No doubt about it. It's not something that you're used to doing, but we definitely got to get you to kick more in that direction. Now, I have some video of a man named Sandy Koufax, pitched way, way, way back in the day. And he actually doesn't do this like some other guys do in the big leagues, but he does a few things differently, and when I get a chance to break that video down, I will show you why you don't necessarily have to kick. But I think in the early going for you, it'll be easier, based off of your delivery right now, to kick in that direction. Okay? So remember, kick in the direction of this arrow right here. So we're kicking this foot down. Once you get to the top of that leg lift, that knee's at its top point, right where my laser pointer is right here, that's when we're going to kick this foot down in this direction, which will let this hip lead the way more. Okay? So right now it's racing out in front of your hip a little bit. Okay? And we talked about landing more so in the last video, but again, I'm really excited about, I think the top half, you're really starting to feel things in your top half. And when we go back to this handbrake here, it's a little easier for us to see handbrake. Watch your handbrake, nice and relaxed. See how relaxed that is, and breaking down towards that kneecap. I love that. That is a great fix. A lot more relaxed. And I also like, if we've talked at length about this, is this angle of the shoulder. Okay, that's pretty good. And we move into rotation, and I think you're starting to get a feel for that back shoulder going down in the front hip. And I know on the front side of the video, the front view, we talked about the hand position a little bit more behind our head, and that'll come as we start to fix things more so in this delivery. Okay. One of the last things I want to point this out, because It should have been something that I pointed out in the front view, but I didn't catch it as much until I saw it on this view. And I normally don't catch it on this view. For whatever reason I did. I don't know, maybe because you're left-handed. But we really don't want your arm to race up into position, okay? And I used Abel as an example because when I was working with Abel in the fall, he did the exact same thing. And this is, I'm assuming this is starting to become more and more common with kids your age. Don't let this elbow, and this is going to be tough to explain. I'm going to do the best I can. And I don't really think a circle is the best way to describe this. But don't let this arm race into position. Let me get the right kind of a line here, okay? So there's where you start after your break. Now watch, see how this elbow races up into position? And I'll circle this. Okay, watch this elbow. There it is racing again. Okay? And here you're still above the ground with foot strike. Okay? It's okay if that, and there you are finally at foot strike, and there's the shoulder. There's the position of the shoulder. Okay? So, not in an ideal position. You don't want that arm to race up into position until your foot strikes. Okay? And I know that sounds crazy. And it's going to feel really uncomfortable. But ideally, when we come back into this position here, once your foot strike, your arm should be about right where it's at right now, somewhere in this area. Your foot should be down, and your arm should be in this position here. Your back arm. Okay, right where it's at right now. And I'll go back a frame, right there. This is where your arm, at foot strike, your arm should be in this position. And now as your back hip starts to pop, then that's when that arm will race up into position here. Okay? And that's where all that tension comes from the front side and from the hip rotation that we've talked about in the past. Okay? So, to review a little bit, be sure to, first of all, get heel to heel. Second of all, the top half looks great, but we need to support your arm a little bit more. Don't let this race up into position. Get that foot down first before we try to get this arm up into position to throw. Okay? And lastly, a little bit more of a leg kick when we get to this knee lift here. Okay? Remember to kick out of this a little bit more, so let that hip lead the way. Okay? Aidan, let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to answer them for you. And I guess we'll see you on Sunday, and hopefully for some more video. Alright? Take care.